For decades it had been thought the most important sign for finding alien life was how far away a planet is from its star. In our solar system, Venus is too close to the Sun and Mars is too far to have liquid water, but Earth is just right. This distance is referred to as the habitable zone, or the Goldilocks zone. But a new study has found simply being in this zone is not enough, and planets must also start with an internal temperature that is just right. Astronomers had previously thought planets were able to regulate their own internal temperature. This was thought to be done through a process called mantle convection, a process where the underground rocks shift, caused by internal heating and cooling. If this was the case, a planet might start out too cold or too hot, but it would eventually settle into the right temperature if it is the right distance from a star. But the new study, by researchers at Yale University and published in the journal Science Advances, suggests this is not the case. Because of this, the study says being in the habitable zone is not sufficient to support life. A planet also must start with an internal temperature that is just right. If you assemble all kinds of scientific data on how Earth has evolved in the past few billion years and try to make sense out of them, you eventually realize that mantle convection is rather indifferent to the internal temperature, said June Krniga, author of the study and professor of geology and geophysics at Yale. Professor Krniga found the degree of self-regulation expected for mantle convection and suggests that self-regulation is unlikely for Earth-like planets. This could narrow down the number of planets that might be capable of hosting alien life. The lack of the self-regulating mechanism has enormous implications for planetary habitability, Professor Krniga said. Studies on planetary formation suggest that planets like Earth form by multiple giant impacts, and the outcome of this highly random process is known to be very diverse. This results in a huge variety in internal temperatures when Earth-like planets first form. This would not be a problem for the evolution of planets if they were able to regulate their own temperatures. But since they are not able to, it means our own planet must have been within a certain temperature range when it first formed. What we take for granted on this planet, such as oceans and continents, would not exist if the internal temperature of Earth had not been in a certain range, and this means that the beginning of Earth's history cannot be too hot or too cold.